6 o'clock. We're starting the meeting. Abigail, would you say the pledge, please?
Sure. Where's the flag?
There.
Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're open for business. Can everybody hear me all right? Okay, the first thing on the agenda is board reorganization. Now, my question I'm going to ask before we proceed, the chairman, is anybody else want to be chairman?
No, thank you.
I don't want nobody getting mad at me.
Douglas.
So we can unanimously elect you.
You have to nominate first and then.
Okay, we're nominating Doug for chairman of the board.
I second that.
Okay. Vice chair,
Peg.
Peg Hurd.
Sure.
Yep.
Nominate Peg Hurd. Budget committee, do we want to put Peg back on there?
Yes.
I'll nominate Peg Hurd. Want me as an alternate? I can't nominate myself as alternate.
I could be alternate.
You want to be alternate?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take
Budget's right up my alley, so. Who's that?
Abigail.
Yeah.
Nominate Abigail.
Right ahead.
Who wants the second?
Welcome, Abby.
I'll second that.
Okay, okay. New Hampshire School Board Association rep,
Oh, that's Abigail. I nominate Abigail.
Abigail, all right, I have no problem with that. Do I have, who wants to be the alternate? Melissa?
I have to, yeah.
Okay,
Emily's not here. We can nominate her for everything.
you can if you want to. I told her that. Okay, policy committee, I think, Emily wanted that, back on that one.
Yes.
I'll nominate her. And then we're gonna need an alternate. Who wants to be alternate?
I'll stay on it with her.
You want it, Melissa, alternate, Melissa? Do I have a second on both of those?
Second,
Okay.
Peg.
Okay. Professional development, I think Emily wanted that
Yep.
again.
Emily also wants.
I'll nominate her.
I'll second
Second,
it.
I don't know, okay. Now, school site facilities and planning committees, who wants to be on that?
Doug.
I can't nominate myself.
Sure, okay, Doug.
Okay, both of you, Douglas, okay. Okay. Now, who wants to be, Parks and Rec?
I say Abigail.
Abigail?
Okay, yep.
I need a second on that one.
second,
All right. Stratford Learning Center, I think, didn't, Emily want that one?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll nominate Emily.
That's what happens when you don't come to meetings.
Emily.
second,
Okay. Negotiations, who wants to be on negotiations?
me.
I'll nominate Peg. Do I have a second for Peg?
Yep. Second.
Who wants to be the alternate?
Doug, nominate Doug.
Who wants-
Second.
Okay, all right. Now, this is a new one, Local Government Efficiency Task Force. It's a town committee. Okay, who wants to be on that?
Melissa.
I was on it before. If you don't want me back on, I'm back on. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Okay, who said
I'll
that?
nominate you. I'll nominate Doug.
A second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now, anybody, all in favor of these positions, say aye.
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 Aye. So we
Okay.
got 4.
Doug,
Thank you very, yes?
I just have a question. Oh, the, site facilities and planning, it's just you. It was you and Paul. Do you want a second on that?
Need one.
Take somebody. Yeah,
All
I
right.
need one.
I will be more than happy to join that one with you.
On second, I'll make the nomination. Do I have a second?
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Aye.
you're on, Peg. You're on there, Peg. Sorry about that. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Okay, we have a policy as a board, people, because you're the voters and the taxpayers, even though we have public comments in the beginning, at the end, speak during the process if you have a question. You're the taxpayer. Okay, we don't mind that. Right? Unless the board has changed the policy. Does the board have a problem with that? No, we're happy with it. So if you have a question, pop it up, not sure about something. But do we have any public comments? Moving on then. Okay, Earl, are you up there?
Yes, we'll start
You're
our,
up.
Well, how about
Hold on.
minutes?
Oh, I skipped it. I apologize. Two minutes here. Okay, Wednesday, March 10th, 2021, remote in-person public hearing minutes.
I will make a motion to approve those minutes with about 3 corrections. On page 4, under committee board reports, I just added the word minutes for the budget committee. Meetings, I'm sorry, not minutes, meetings. And then on page 5, Melissa had left before we adjourned, so I just took her name off and changed the vote to 4-0.
Okay, do I have a second? Have to be, Abigail, you won't be able to vote on this.
Right.
Okay.
So it's Peg
Okay.
and Melissa?
Yeah, Melissa, okay.
Yeah, but Melissa, she wasn't, well, she was there for all of the public,
Well,
yeah.
Melissa was here for the public.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, all right, okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Melissa, corrections? Melissa? I don't either. Aye,
Aye.
abstain. Peg?
aye.
Okay. 3-0-1. We're gonna be able to do these? We're gonna have to wait on the non-public.
I think you might have to wait. You only have
I think we're gonna have to wait on the non-public. We only got 2 votes. Don't have a majority. All right. Table, I'll put table down. Back on. All right, Earl, it's official now. You're up.
okay, thank you very much. It's very nice
Sorry.
to see. Thank you very much. It's nice to see this, the board stays in full, and it looks like things look very good as far as the committees. It looks like we're staying very much intact. Thank you very much. On behalf of the administrative team, we'd like to give you all of the updates that the team has worked very hard on. We'll start with MES, and the K2 students, as you know, are back in school, which everyone is very psyched about, and I'll let John talk about that. John, do you want to kick things off for the team?
Sure. Well, we started back on Monday with K-2 in full. We had a really, it was a good opening. The students, for a lot of them, it was like the first day of school. The classrooms were set up with the 3-foot distancing, and you know, it just worked out. The kids were happy to be there. There were no issues and so forth. So that worked out. Of course, it was our I Love to Read week. So we welcomed them back. I don't know if anybody got to drive by the school, but we welcomed them back with a big balloon out in front, the Cat in the Hat. And today was our Harry Potter day, which I have back behind me. I have the Gryffindor flag, and we had a great time. So it's been a great week so far. And we are on track. So the hiring is going, and we have people working on plans to come back for our May 10th date.
Okay, Rob Qua, thanks to the support of the school board in assisting us as far as the contracts are concerned. Rob Qua will let you know we were very concerned with SPED staff and so forth, and through your help and support, Rob has been successful. But I'll turn it over to Rob. He could let you know all the good news.
Yeah, thank you. You phrased it really well. I was really concerned about special ed staffing, and now I'm happy to report that I'm far less concerned about special ed staffing. Thanks to being able to work with that headhunter company and our expanded I've been able to get 4 more pairs into our buildings, as well as a new case manager. I've also got another interview pending, and I think I was actually so busy I handed one off to Newt, and they've been able to get yet another person in to help us out. So staffing is going very, very well. And if we combine that with the fact that vaccines are out and being distributed, and lots of staff are planning on returning to the building, I'm I'm feeling really good about where we are with K-2 right now, as well as being on track for further openings as we get into May. We're fully covered in K-2. I've got some schedules to adjust, as always, to make sure we're meeting all student needs as effectively as possible. But yeah, as those staff come back and as we continue to add staff through that company and through, you know, just having a further reach now that we do with our job applicant or our job opening, I'm very confident that as we reopen the rest of the district, that we'll be able to meet all of our IEP needs and address student needs, of which I'm sure we'll run into some with everybody coming back.
Anybody
Okay, is
have any
everybody
questions?
all set with that? Okay, going along, thank you, Rob. Going along with that, Bob and Jen and Nate are going to all kind of team up here. Bob, also, we've worked very hard at trying to get staff in. As you know, we've had some, you know, as far as our full-time staff goes, we have lost some due to things that events that have occurred with them. So that we were able, Bob, why don't you explain it and explain the 2 bids? Nate can weigh in. Nate gave Doug the info because we've been doing it right out, and it's only been since we sent the board stuff out that we actually have gotten all of the bids in. And Jen can reiterate that this would be part of the grant. So Bob, do you want to kind of explain? We actually started months ago in explaining the custodial issues, and we've posted it every which way and put up ads, but I'll let you take over and explain where we were and where we are now.
Okay. Yeah, I recently, after the board package went out, I received a resignation from one of our full-time custodians. So I wanted to bring you up to date on that. I continue to work with 2 agencies, local agencies, for looking at people that would need to work part-time, full-time, and that hasn't brought forward a candidate at this point in time. We did advertise, I believe you do know that, in the papers. So that was a hard copy plus electronically. I did not receive any applications out of that. In parallel to all of that, I started looking at contract companies that can help us do the custodian help. And I've received 2 bids that are relatively close in number. What I had looked at is perhaps covering up to a total of up to 12 weeks and up to potentially 3 people. And let me explain the 3 people. So 1 person would be the long-term sub that was approved last September by the board. The other person would be to temporarily fill the void of a resignation. And then the other one would be to help basically also on second shift, so that if I had people out sick, vacation, whatever was going on, I would have the ability then to be able to do a full cleaning process each night. So collaborating with Jen Levitt, she had put in a grant request to the state to finish this school year for custodial contract services for $47,768. And we had calculated that number as the not to exceed. So we would, potentially do less than that, but that would be the top end. As we speak, and Jen can elaborate, she has presented that information to the New Hampshire State, and we're waiting for their approval on that at this point in time.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Jen, did you want to weigh in?
He wanted to know if you wanted to weigh in. Well, they were just talking about the grant request for the custodians.
So I wrote it in, the state already said that they have approved the activity, they're just waiting for budget approval from the county of the state. The only reason that would be denied is if it was like an exorbitant amount. It's not, if you want to pay for typical, custodian anyway, so they said it's 10,000, so we reviewed that process yesterday.
Thank you. I was having a time myself. Thanks.
Okay, and Nate, yeah, that will work in the scope of things, correct? In terms of the grant and the overall,
Yes,
and it won't come out of the school year funds, it'll come out of the grant funds.
correct. Yep.
Good, thank you. Does the board have any questions about that?
No, but you know what? I need people, if they're gonna speak. I barely heard anything from Jen, so I don't know if that might.
It wasn't on. They just turned it on.
Okay, great. Thank you. No, I have no questions. That sounds good, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Jan, we can have Jan step up because I know she's there. So as Peg said, we could hear her, and she will give us the update of the new middle and high school.
Yep, for two things right now. We just started testing today, so we're in the middle of 7th and 8th grade New Hampshire testing and junior SAT testing. Purple cohort went today, the gold cohort will go tomorrow. We also have remote students coming in. That will mostly finish on Friday, but we will still have science and one more math test next week. But also, right now, we're planning a spring drama performance called Rinse the Test. It's a one-act play by Stephen Gregg. It will be, we're hoping to have it on the stage. There'll never be more than 9 people on the stage at a time. And there'll be students, so they'll be sitting at a desk with the shield with their masks on. And then occasionally the teacher will be up and about. So we're working again to make it as COVID friendly as possible. This play has been put on at other places, and they're promising to be very COVID friendly. And we'll look to having maybe 3 people per actor, like we have with the basketball game, be able to sit in the family unit, not in the bleachers, but on the floor with group chairs together. So we're working on that, and again, making the COVID friendly as possible. This is the performances on June 4th and June 5th. Questions?
Thank you, Jen. Okay, Earl.
Okay. Thank you. Tim, can you talk about the school bus and as we work toward the 10th of May?
Sure. Basically, at this point, we are still holding our own. We've got our full staff other than a few illnesses here and there, but we're able to cover and maintain those routes as is. And so moving forward towards the 10th, we are good to go. I think this was a good test with the K-2 coming in to see how that was working. And it seemed to be, it is working well. And the only thing that I would advise the board and ask for them to recognize is that moving forward, because when we initially wrote the COVID plan for reopening, part of that plan had several mitigation steps in there, such as social distancing, mask wearing, sanitizing, hand sanitizer, those sorts of things. We can accomplish most of those except the social distance piece. And basically, I've reached out to two of the major companies in our area, First Student and Goffstown Truck, to see if they had anyone that they could spare so that we could obtain the fifth driver to be able to maintain that social distance on the bus. Basically, both of them chuckled as I asked the question and said, we are in the same exact boat as you. We have no one extra and we cannot help in any way. So back to the drawing board we went, and basically looking at the numbers, some of the routes will be over on that 26 number, but if we're keeping the families together, and potentially neighbors that live next to each other and their kids are playing together, those sorts of things, we would be able to sit them together and not necessarily worry about maintaining that 26 number of students on the bus. So with that said, I just need to one, make you aware, and two, just ask that you do recognize that whether you take a vote or whatever to change the plan, that's up to you. But basically, we can move forward with any opening, with whatever grades that we have, kindergarten through 12th grade, we're fine. Just we cannot maintain that social distance piece. So that's kind of where we're at.
So you want a motion?
I have a
ahead.
question. Did we get any results back from the survey that went out about parents driving their students to school?
Peg, I'll have John and Jan talk about that, what our results were, and where approximately they are. John has been counting heads on the bus, on each bus each day. John, do you want to speak to that?
Okay, I did do the survey. Of course, I had the K-2 survey already out there, and last week I put out the 3 to 5 survey, and I've got about 99% of the responses back. So it's about 31. What I'm looking at is we have a lot of people who will be driving and so forth, or we have about 25 that would still be remote. So the bus numbers roughly we're looking at is 31, 34, 29, 28 for each bus. And I've been counting them this week because on some of the days it's almost like a bus is, because they're picking up all the like Bruins all K-5 on certain days, on like Mondays and Wednesdays. So Bruins and Celtics run on Monday. We had 25 kids and 30 kids. So that's approximately what it would be about. But we do have some more kids coming back from remote. So that will be up a little bit. And so the highest was 30. And then today we had 20 on one bus. So 21. So it varies. So 24, 30, so it's around that.
Okay, if I can just ask Tim, what was in your reopening plan and what we've been doing so far? Was it 26 sticks in my head?
That is correct. 26 was that magic number. And that was right from the get-go, the 3-foot distance for the students.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that I had the right number, and
yep.
30 is 4 too many.
Right, for me, we still have, the secretaries have been calling all the parents this week that we don't have the surveys back from. We still have 36 we haven't heard from. And now we have 39 asking for bus transportation, which would average about 34 per bus. If all 36 needed a bus, it would be about 43 per bus, but I don't think that would be the case. So we're anticipating it would average 34 to 38 per bus. Next step is to start pairing up siblings or same household members that can fit together and see how the spacing is.
Well, I have a question. Was that done originally when there's 26 per student per bus drawn up, that siblings could sit with each other?
Yes,
Oh, okay,
anybody in the same household can share a seat.
so we could increase the amount on the bus by doing that, beyond the 26. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I have another one. Tim, Bob, I know you said that you called, was it school choice, school care, school something? But if Bob could find a contractor for custodians, is there such a thing for bus drivers?
I certainly wish there was. Basically, we would have to reach out to one of the businesses. And like I said, I did reach out to two of the bigger companies that would potentially have an extra driver. And like I said, they do not. And unfortunately, it's across the state, across the nation, that there just are no bus drivers to be had.
Okay, thank you very much, the three of you. I appreciate your hard work in this.
I did raise this question in my principal group, this past week meeting. We were all talking about reopening, pretty much all the schools are looking to go back full in May. So I did ask what were people doing about busing, and their response was that it's a parent choice, that they know they can transport their child, keep them remote, or put them on a bus knowing that their child may be sitting 2 to a seat on the bus. So that's what many of the other schools are doing. They're just letting parents know you'll be 2 to a seat on the bus.
And also just to piggyback that comment, while speaking with those two companies, they too also mentioned that there's no way they're going to be able to maintain the social distance piece. They would do all the other mitigation steps, but the social distance, just there's no possible way.
Good. One more up here.
Okay, thank you.
Earl, wait a minute. I'm going to make my 2 cents known. As a parent, it is my choice if I want my child to be bused or I can drive them. We are doing everything in our power to have them masked, to have them sitting with siblings, to wiping down their hands. As far as the social distancing on the bus, I believe that we need to go forward with the transportation. And I think we're taking every possible steps we can to mitigate any outbreaks. That's just my opinion.
Thank you, Melissa, for that. Can I just add one other thing? Obviously, staffing is a concern. I have spoken with my regular ed drivers that would be on these buses. They're aware of the increased number of students on the bus, and at this point, they have no reservations as far as going forward. They're ready to do it.
Are you going to need a motion from us to proceed?
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we proceed eliminating the social distancing piece.
I will
I'll second
second that.
Oh, Abigail already beat him.
Sorry.
You have anything to say, Abigail? Because you can't talk.
No, that's, I'm just
do I
in
have-
agreement with that, yeah.
Oh, I got to be on.
Microphone, turn on off.
Thanks. Oh, God, that's terrible. Okay. Make everybody okay. So we made up our mind. Does any parents want to say anything? This is your time. Okay. Melissa?
Aye.
Abigail?
Aye.
Douglas, aye. Peg?
Okay, aye.
Hey, thank you, everybody. Okay, Tim, there you go. There's your answer.
Thank you.
Anything else, Earl?
No, we've come, thanks to the support of the board and the parents, the community, and all of the staff, we have come a long way and things look good. Thank you all.
Okay, well, I do have something, and I think I might wait till Tammy comes back.
Oral set, go ahead.
Okay, what I did is, I don't know if it's a brilliant idea, but I had an idea that possibly out of that COVID money, we could, give a flat fee to all our employees who have been with us through this pandemic. And, that's why I talked to Earl about it, and then we talked to Jen, and, Jen told the state, and the state came back and gave her a reply. Would you like to talk about this, Jen, please? It'll be up to the board to make this decision, no, not mine.
So we talked to the state about offering some sort of incentive for staff who've worked throughout the year through the pandemic, as, you know, like we did for similar to the paras, just offering a little bit more, but offering it to everybody, so there be no discrepancy between any staff, anyone who has worked for the SAU this year. So when I asked the state, we kind of had a blanketed amount. What if we gave everyone this amount? And their concern was that it seemed like there was a lot of concern regarding fair and equality and what that would look like. So we have had a few conversations with them about what does that look like in other ways. So we talked about whether we could kind of get the staff something, or whether there's a better way to make it equal. So one of the ways we thought about making it equal would be an amount per day that you worked. So if you worked 180 days and you got an X amount per day, but if you were part-time and only worked 80 days, 8 days times that amount, and just trying to offer a little something to the staff. So we still have to go back to the state and ask them if they would approve it. But for me, with going through all of the work approval, I would like a feeling for what the board is thinking, just to, put up this fight or not. Do we think monetary? Do we think we're looking for something to get them? What is kind of the thought on that? But the thought was trying to make it equal for all staff. So, and the word equal is very tricky. So what does that look like and how can we support it?
Okay, now, the idea I had was no good, okay?
They said no.
They said no, but they liked the idea. They liked the idea. Then Jan Radovitz came up with a better idea. This is what we're all about. We're looking for better ideas. Did you want to?
So I said, yeah, it would be a per day they worked amount. So I feel, I don't know how to bring up an amount of money without talking to the state or whether or not the ESSER funds could afford it. We talked, whether it would be between 5 and 10. We said $10-ish a day, just so that the stipend at the end of the year they would get, and it would be that amount of work to days times the stipend that's being basically. Just to offer a little something, the $10 isn't a great deal of money, but just to try and show appreciation. So that was the move we think we're going to propose forward, but just looking for kind of some ideas or support.
No, this is not local taxpayer money, so it will not affect your operating budget.
The ESSER funds.
So it's going to come out of a grant. Now, the good news isn't, can I release that other news? Down the road, I'll let you tell it. You're the one that's doing all the work.
Oh, so we've already received our ESSER 2 funds, which we had been dying and waiting for. So we received those and already started writing those. However, with a new American Rescue Act, there's actually going to be another set of money coming our way. There is a bill that is very explicit on what part has to be spent on certain things, but then the rest of it has a lot more flexibility on ways we can spend it. And so the rumor has it that it will be 2 times what we just received. So we're somewhere around $900,000, and it includes being able to go, as small as obviously interventions and supports for students who are falling behind, up to what do we need to do to our building to make it safer. So that's the next step.
So these people that are looking for grants for us are doing us an extremely, I don't know how to say it, they're doing an excellent job, all of them, especially Jan. I think John's been involved in it. I'm sure Bob's been involved with it. Tim's been involved. I want to say thank you.
What was that grant called?
ESSER, they don't know yet, so it's called, they think it's gonna be ESSER 3, but it's the American Relief Act. That's where we just got our new stimulus from.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's so that's what the whole act is, and then the part of it, they don't know what it's gonna be called yet. Airs, ESSER 3, something. They'll make up a fun name that we can't figure out.
Okay,
Now,
thanks.
now going back to the other money, that'll be a decision if the board wants to do it. Okay, she's gonna check into it, they'll come back to the board for a vote, we'll have some firm figures for you. If you don't, that's up to you.
Absolutely, I think you should go for it.
Yeah.
And they might
It's a
say
really
no,
good idea.
so I just want to be clear,
Yeah.
like, we're fighting for it, and we're gonna see, they might say no just because they're also trying to cover their auditing side as well. So we're just trying to see what we can do and offer anything we can do for staff.
Okay. All right, Doug?
Go ahead.
I agree with absolutely positively we should do something, and I think monetarily, not, buying them a gift. I'm just wondering if we end up not being able to use the new funds, is there anything that we can use that for that we could then have some leftover in the operating budget that we could take care of it that way? Is Nate still
So
around?
it's already marked in the operating budget, you cannot put grant funding on it, and they're very specific about that. If they can find you writing it somewhere that you had already put in the operating budget for it, they will not. So you just have to be careful how you word that. If the fund in the operating budget was like, we might want to spend it towards this, this, or this, then you might have more flexibility. You just want to be careful, because if you get audited, you have to pay it back if they can find that.
No, I totally agree, Jen, and I certainly appreciate all the work that you have done, believe me. But I'm just thinking, if for some reason they come back and say, nah, you can't do that, I would like to somehow figure out how we could. So,
I think we just keep asking them until they say yes. We'll just keep changing the wording or something. So yeah, I agree. I think there's got to be a way to do it.
we'll call on Nate to do that. He can cut the checks.
Okay. Now that, thing from Nate, when is he gonna talk about that, Earl?
Nate, are you ready?
The okras and.
Yep.
The pager, the one on the computers and stuff, the E-rate.
Yep.
You
So,
can talk about that now.
yep, if you want me to, I can, yeah.
Well, it's during administration.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the time. I agree with you.
Give me this
Okay.
page here.
Yeah.
Number, in the back and after the back.
Oh, the one, the
Yeah,
new one that you
it was an
gave me,
add-on.
it was an add-on, okay. So I'm looking on the wrong packet, okay.
He just, in the last day or two, he just came upon this.
Okay, I don't, because I'm not there, I don't have the add-on, so maybe if you can explain a little tiny bit, Nate, please. Thank you.
Yep, so it is E-rate season. And this is the time of year that we need to figure out what we're gonna spend on our technology and communications. And Steve Gagnon and I, in our E-rate vendor, discussed upgrading and updating the district with access points and switches. And we had to put in a bid to follow E-rate rules, and we got 4 vendors looking to bid on it. I believe you guys have it. It's Okers, Omada, FiberNext, NECom, and Okers came in at $25,422 to upgrade the whole district. The beauty with this is, if we decide to do this, and this can be completely contingent on a fund balance if we have it at the end of the year, 70% of that will be reimbursed next year for E-rate. So we'd only be paying about $7,500 to upgrade the whole district.
So this will be a benefit to our systems then.
Absolutely, yep.
Wait, come on up.
Nate, I'm looking at the difference in price, 25,000 to 64,000.
Yep.
Any explanation why there is such a huge discrepancy? I mean, we don't want to go with just the smallest bid if in the long run it's going to cost us more because something wasn't added in, or I'm just trying to figure out $25,000 to $64,000. That's a big difference.
Yes, it is. That's all technical stuff that I'm hoping Steve could help me with. I do know that he's been working with them in other districts. And, well, I'll let you, Steve, are you available?
I am, yes. So the differences in those quotes, the main difference is the technology is different and the products are different. So the bid that went out referenced compatibility with our current system, but when you go through this process, you get bids from all people and providers that do these. So some of these solutions are even higher to implement upfront, but then they also come with subscriptions and long-term costs that are also higher. So these are just systems that are not going to work in the district or are not compatible with our current systems.
Okay, so will you be able to give us a better understanding from these bids in the long run what it's going to cost us? Like you said,
right. So the bid that was selected was based on the technology that it could add to the district, and that it does not come with recurring costs. So the district invests in this and then they own it and they're able to use it as long as it lasts. And it doesn't come with subscriptions and other costs that are needed to maintain or to have access to it. So there's a lot of factors that went into that.
okay, and the other question is it fairly new technology that we're not going to be outdated in a year or two?
It is, yes.
Thanks,
Do
Steve.
you?
I don't have any questions, no.
Okay, now do you need a motion and a second from us for this?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we go to Oakers for the 25,000.
I'll
I ain't done
second
yet.
that.
Hey.
What?
I ain't finished yet. $422.00. Okay, go ahead, Peg, I'm sorry.
Second. Oh,
All right.
Nate's got his hand up.
Who does?
Nate.
Go ahead, Nate, I can't see your hand.
Okay. Keep in mind, this is contingent on fund balance monies that we have in June.
So I handed out from the fund balance in June.
Right.
Is that better? Okay. Anybody have any, still go okay with that, Peg?
Yes.
In June, okay, all right. Does anybody have any more? Melissa?
I don't know, I'm just concerned with the differences in the prices. I'm just really concerned with that.
Okay, it's up to you.
No, I'm not saying to go with it, I'm questioning that.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
Abigail, you have any answer?
No, I'm okay with it.
Not okay? No?
I didn't hear.
No, that Melissa and Abigail are not okay with it. Okay? And I vote yes. Peg,
Yes.
what do you vote? Okay, well, right now we can't deal with it because it's a tie vote.
No, I didn't say no, I said I'm concerned.
Well,
I'm just,
do you want more information?
no, I'm gonna vote yes, but I want it on the record that I'm concerned that the bid is so low that we're gonna get hit back again on the other end.
That's a legitimate concern.
And my vote was a yes. I was saying no too. I don't have any questions.
Oh, I'm
Sorry for that.
just a man, I don't.
Sometimes it's hard to hear too with masks.
Okay, so I guess we got,
So yeah, I'm okay with that, yeah.
but we do have concerns as a board. So you're all set with that?
So there's
Yes.
4 yes.
Oh, yes, yeah, we got it. I just misunderstood. Typical for me. Okay. All right, okay, I think we're on page 11 and 12. That should be numbered. That's the memo, MOA?
Yes.
Who wants to talk about that?
Peg, one thing for Peg, I sent you the things that Doug just gave out to the board. I sent
Just
it to
now?
you. Yes, about 5 minutes ago when you said you didn't have it. Okay, going back to Doug. Jan, did you want to speak to that? Because it dealt primarily with being able to staff to provide for students in science and math. And the board gave us the verbal okay to talk to Marianne and the association. And we're giving you the update on the basis of that discussion in order to assist the middle high school to staff and also can have a reciprocal effect on MES if it needs to go that way based upon how things shake out on certain other things. But it does, it makes it so it will help out. So Jan, do you want to explain that? Give them an update on where that is?
Yes, so this was for when we go back fall on maintenance, being able to still support the students that are remote at home, even though there may not be time during the school day. So John and I met with Marianne and Lisa to draft this. We looked at the flat rate, what was the best way to do it. We decided doing it for $50 per day for a minimum of 45 minutes of direct live instruction. That would include their planning, the instruction, any grading that they have to do. So that would be for each day that they do it. We could be doing it on alternate days. It does have to be outside of school days. This is in addition to what we're currently doing, or it has to be during the prep period. But again, a minimum of 45 minutes of live in-person to the computer instruction. The duration is just from May 10th to the end of the school year. This doesn't have any binding effect on the next year's any negotiations.
Now, we gonna have to change school, or it's gonna be after school, or?
So it's either they can choose to take the prep time, which they have at least a minimum of 45 minutes, like they can do this on a Friday, because there's not enough time in the day of after school Friday. So they can either give up, use their prep time to be live teaching students to the computer, or it has to be after their school day. So in addition to, they work the school day, then they would be teaching this class.
Now, that would have to be done remotely if the kids have
All
gone.
remotely.
All remote?
This is to enable us to be able to support remote students once we go forward.
Okay. Now, this wouldn't be during the summer, just the rest of this year.
From May 10th till June 18th.
June 18th, okay.
So at the back page on the duration, it says temporary and only in effect on or after May 10th, 2020, 2021 school year.
Anybody have any questions?
You need a motion to accept it?
Yes,
Do we need a motion to accept it?
she said yes.
Who did?
Jan?
I heard Melissa say it.
She said yes. Okay, so I make a motion to accept this memorandum?
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Peg was get speedy. Do I have any more discussion?
Yes, the only thing, I read the whole document and it says all right, this is the 2021 school year. So it's going to end on June 18th, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
as long as that's clear, I'm fine with it.
Can you put that on the memorandum?
Yeah,
we
you
agree with
would put on there that it's
It says it
sunset.
on it.
It has it on the back.
It has the end of the 2020-2021 school year, which I'm assuming is the year we are in and will end on June 18th, as Jan said. I just want to make sure that that's really clear.
All right, so I'll amend my motion to accept it with us adding in the date, June 18th, 2021.
Thank you. Can I
Okay.
second that one?
Yeah.
No, you're
I'll
slow.
put starting
Yes.
May 10th through June 18th,
Yeah.
just motion. Put the specific date, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that.
Okay.
Is we all set with that?
Yes.
Melissa?
Thank you,
Aye.
Melissa.
Yeah,
Aye.
aye. Peg?
Aye.
You could speak now, Peg.
Oh, gee, thanks.
sorry. We're okay with that. Okay, who's presenting House Bill 276?
Okay, we have Mr. Drillette and Miss Burrows, SB 276 presentation. They've done an excellent job and they're going to present it to the board. They're both on Zoom.
Okay, wait a
Please,
minute before you start, Earl. Earl, I gotta get something clear. You got a handout? Yep, go to page 13. That's your original.
Yep, I got it.
And you got this other handout that I gave you. You're gonna need that.
Oh, yes.
Sam,
Yeah.
set to go. I apologize.
Here we go. Yep.
This page?
Oh, here we go. Yep, 13 and 13A. Thank
Oh, I
you.
did put 13A on it. That one I
Yes.
did mark. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So Howie and I are part of this committee that is working on our responsibilities as according to Senate Bill 276, which has been nicknamed the Drive to 65 Act. It's an act that went into effect July 2020. It's sharing some schools' responsibility to start developing plans and assessing career interests with kids at certain levels. The goal of the act is to have 65% of New Hampshire adults getting a high-value credential or a post-secondary degree by the year 2025. And it's also for workforce development, state of New Hampshire, economic improvement, state of New Hampshire. Ultimately, those are all the goals. And I will tell you, a high-value credential or post-secondary degree would be either a college degree, an associate's or a bachelor's or certificate program. It could be licensure in a certain trade, technical skills like our kids get from some of the Career Tech Center programs that we send them to. Part of our job for this year, in September 2020 started, we have to start assessing student career interests for incoming freshmen for next year. So we're going to start with working with our 8th graders now. And we need to present school pathways to career readiness credentials, which we had started beefing up in our program of studies anyway. The career pathways would be things like, this might be the type of programming you choose for your courses if you want to do a 2-year college or a 4-year college, or you want to go into the military, or you want to go into vocational program, or you want to enter the workforce, things like that. Also, we're going to advise work with these students to advise them how to achieve these things, the paths that they can choose to do that, what we offer for them at school. And we may be a small school, but we're pretty creative at reaching out and finding other opportunities for our students. And also to monitor and communicate student progress toward these credentials. Ultimately, the goal will be that we have some goals for each grade level, and then we're recording them on a transcript. So in the future, we have to figure out a way to do that, to record that progress from year to year. This helps us also, we need to track the DOE, we track a lot of data in I4C, and now we have to track credentials for all of our CTE completers, dual and concurrent enrollment, which might be doing some college courses that they're getting dual credit for high school and college at the same time. ELO enrollments, which is Mr. Drolet's specialty, work-based learning enrollment, and career-ready credentials that are awarded, which most of our career tech programs at Rochester, Dover, and Somersworth offer some type of credential, either college credits or licensure certification, or at least getting the kids a lot closer to that upon graduation. So our plan for this year, so far, we have a Drive to 65 committee that meets regularly. We have both middle and high school counselors on it, ELO coordinator. We have a high school English teacher and a special educator, and we would like to add a middle school teacher moving forward. Our plan is also to assess current 8th graders and current 9th graders with career interest inventory this spring. We have 2 programs to do that. We have Zello, which is a really good program that we use already in our school. Also, the state purchased for all New Hampshire schools a new program called A Way To, and again, it's like an online program that has some tools on it to use, and it helps connect kids to programming and things that are more regional and more local to New Hampshire. And that's pretty new. And I'm starting, for my guidance director forum and whatnot, I'm hearing some sort of mixed reviews on that. So that's sort of still in its trial. But New Hampshire has agreed to pay for it for us for a few years. So that's a plus. We are also, as we usually do, counselors will present the program of studies to students at different grade levels and help them understand the career pathways and the impact that their decisions make on their futures. And actually this year, we're going to try to target that. So I'm going to try to meet with those kids one-on-one to help them with their course requests as well. And we're a small enough school that it's nice to be able to do that. And then Howie's going to share some plans that we have moving forward for our team.
Thanks, Lisa. Hello, everyone. So one of the things that has also come out of this committee is looking forward to next year, and what we're planning on doing is making October sort of a college and career planning month. So we're going to do things, hopefully do things like an in-person college tour where we can, put kids on a bus and they can go down and see UNH in person. Again, everything is going to be COVID contingent, but we're really planning on, some of these things. Career construction days at the end of December, so we'll tie that into it. I can set up a tour with at Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. We're going to plan on doing career awareness and goal setting activities in advisory. There's been some talk about possibly doing a career fair, and then we'll have our college visits, our military visits. We also talked about having the 8th graders go tour the 3 CTE centers during that time. And then the like Lisa said, the away to activities in advisory. I can present out what an ELO is and do an ELO presentation for all the high school kids. So we're really, really want to focus on letting kids know what's out there and letting them know what their pathways are and their options are. And I just want to emphasize that I've heard some things from other schools about people are concerned about tracking, and this certainly isn't tracking. If a student says when he's a freshman that he wants to be a plumber, we're not going to say, okay, we're going to put you on the plumber's track for the next 4 years and this is what you're going to be. It's not like that at all. It's basically just being aware of, if you are interested in this sort of a career, this is the pathway that you can take. So I just want to be clear about that, because there is some misconception about that I have heard. So it's nothing in terms of tracking kids and putting them on a path. It's just making kids aware of what their options are and how they can get where they eventually want to be.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for the moment?
No, I think it sounds very good. And Howie, even though you said they're not going to be put on a track, but I mean, you as the ELO person, I think if I say I want to be a plumber and I'm in 8th grade, I probably would look to you to say, hey, Mr. Plumber dude in Rochester, can you come in and talk to me, Johnny? That's not really my name, but.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a good plan, and I like it.
All set, moving on?
No, wait, I got a question.
Well, go ahead.
Do they have this available for, like special ed kids too?
We'll do this with all students at those grade levels. Absolutely.
Huh, that's cool.
All set? Moving on? Okay, prom discussion. Who handles that?
We have a committee here. Jan has the administration, class advisors, students, and parents to discuss the prom.
Okay, all right. No, that-
Is what's her name or her phone number on here, do you know? She can get it. Oh, Karen. Karen.
Karen, can you hear us?
She can't talk,
No, she can't talk?
not yet.
Okay, I'll start, she can figure it out. So this is page 14 in your packet.
Yep.
So we would like to do a combined junior senior prom this year, or we typically do it the junior year, they do a senior banquet. So last year's junior class, this year's senior class did not get a prom last year. We'd like to combine the junior and senior together. There's a small senior class. Anyway, we looked at a bunch of different locations. First, there was some that were in April, that's too soon. We pushed back as far as we could. We got a May 14th date. Portsmouth Country Club is able, there's nobody else there that night, so they're able to give us pretty much the entire facility. So we would have, one room where the tables and the dance floor would be in a separate room where the buffet line would be, with enough spacing that people could be 6 feet apart to take a mask break. Everyone would be screened on their way in, just like we do here at school. They'd have to fill out the form and have their temperature taken. We would like to allow them to bring guests, but the guests would have to have an approval form in by April 23rd. And they would have to be screened when they arrived as well. Again, everybody leaves masks on until they're at the table. New Hampshire rules just open facilities back up to 100% capacity, which allows them to put 10 people per table. We don't want to do 10 people per table, we're going to max it out at 8. If we could do 6, we'll do 6. Tables will be spaced 6 feet apart. People will be able to remove their masks at the table while they're eating. They will have a dance floor, but again, they have to wear masks on the dance floor and stay 3 feet apart while dancing. So I did share with them that I don't want to be the 3-foot
You
dance.
said 3 feet apart while you dance? Okay.
You know how you read room for the Holy Ghost, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
So, they also have a grand march, that's kind of a big deal before the prom. So we want to have those separate, so that we'll have the senior one first, because they bring families in, it's like walking the red carpet, everybody takes a picture. They'll have the senior class in, they're allowed to have 3 family members, will be able to use both sides of the bleachers to spread them out. The seniors have done theirs, we select the prom king and queen. They will leave, then we'll do a junior grand march, so that we don't have, if they're able to bring, we won't be able to have everybody bring 3 family members if we combine it. So we'd like to leave that separate for them.
What was the date, the guest approval by when?
It is May 14th. It is a buffet line, but the staff at the Portsmouth Country Club will be serving no breakfast utensils. So again, we won't have to worry about, separate hands for now. Are there questions?
Any questions for anybody?
Sounds good to me.
I have a question. As far as guests with the April 23rd,
That's what it was, fine.
my concern is we're talking about teenagers who change their mind on who they want to go be seen in public with from day to day. So are we going to have any flexibility that if somebody, I don't want somebody not be able to go because they got a date at the last minute and then now they can't bring their date to the prom.
So the problem with that is we have to give them the number. So they have to order the food, so we kind of have to finalize our number by the 23rd. And the form that they have to get signed is if they're in another school system, they have to have the administrator of that school system sign it verifying that they're a good person and they won't be causing any problems for us. So all of that takes time and then we have to process them, but the biggie is we have to give, Portsmouth Country Club the numbers so they can have the food ordered by them.
Now, do you need a motion from us to do this?
Yep, we would like to approve to move forward.
Peg, I'm gonna make the first motion here, guys. I will make a motion to go ahead with the plan as outlined on page 14 in our packet. Good job.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, okay. Did anybody out in the audience want to say something?
Thank you.
We haven't voted yet. You don't go yet. Did the individual want to speak? Was on the, Okay, all right. Peg,
Aye.
Doug?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you for coming, you got it.
Okay, are we all set to dance? Is all the dance all set, Doug?
Yes, we made it.
Yep, okay. We are ready now for the long-term sub. Bob and Nate, you
Bob
wanna?
Adams. Bob
Okay.
Adams. About the fire alarm inspection update.
Oh, there, yeah, that's right, the fire alarm and the long-term sub. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Bob.
On the fire department, it's actually fire department's inspection update. I did update you the last time, and there hasn't been any change since then. I have not met with the assistant chief yet at this point in time. So I did want to let you know that.
Anybody have any questions for Bob? Okay, I think you're still up, Bob. Long-term sub custodian.
All right. Yeah, I had Nathan look into doing a calculation for me to come up with a $1 per hour figure that would represent somebody actually not getting any benefits. Because they don't get any benefits, it's hard to attract the long-term subs. So Nathan with the matrix below then developed an hourly figure that I wanted to talk about with you. So that's the.
So that's
Yep.
1565.
Correct.
Yeah, Doug, if you remember, I had mentioned to you that Bob and I, this was before we had the contract that Bob was able to secure, that we were going very hard to try to get help in the pay differential I had done in the past at a school when we were in a bind for things. And I said, why don't we take a look at the differential? Because when we pay staff, we have all the fringes involved. In the New Hampshire retirement system, as you know, has gotten very expensive and so forth. So then Nate came up with this. So we're still looking to have this. So if we still have folks that come forth, so he'll be further helped if we do have somebody come forth. But we had this firstly before you approved the contracts. We're aware of the contracts that we discussed earlier in the report, but this also, Bob, this would provide further help too. And again, it sunsets at the end of the year, correct? You know, this would sunset at the end of the year, or no? Or would you want to go?
Yeah, I would recommend that we go further until we can fill the full-time position and the staff that we'll have available. So I would recommend going through the summer. I think that would help us, and we could address it again probably in July.
That's a great idea. I would think I would support that to bring to the board for sure, Bob. Yeah,
Okay.
because the other contract ends at the end of the year.
Yeah, well, the other contract would end June 18th that we brought up earlier.
Yeah, and we would be stuck because in July and August, we want to bring in a lot of kids to
Correct.
give them help. So we're going to need that help. That's a very good point, Bob.
So you're gonna need a motion from us to do this? Earl, Bob?
Yes, we do.
Peg, what happened to you?
Sure, but I'm missing what we're gonna be making a motion on. I mean, I'm hearing two different things. First, the contracts you already have, Bob, that you said June 18th. Are we now looking to extend that through the summer? Are we?
No.
No, we're not.
Okay, so that still is June 18th.
Correct.
We're looking to hire long-term subs with no benefits at $15.65 an hour.
Okay, thank you, because it was very unclear to me exactly. I mean, I heard the discussion, but there was nothing that I will make a motion to do that because we need them, and looking at the salaries, absolutely.
Now,
Can you make the motion a little bit more clear?
No, we're gonna be,
Yes,
Hey.
Tammy, I make the motion that we hire long-term subs at $15.65 per hour with no benefits.
and we want an end date, and we revisit in July?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
said to the summer. Bob, was that?
Right, it would be, yeah, before, whatever the day would be, say end of August.
Okay, the end of August?
Yep.
We revisit.
Yeah, and I don't know when the end of August is. The 30th?
Usually it's
31, right?
31, right,
31.
there's 31 days in August. Until August 31st.
That's a Tuesday.
Yep, and teachers, looking at the calendar, teachers will be in school. That'll be their second day.
Okay. Did I have a second on that?
A second.
Melissa seconded that. Do we have any discussion?
Don't we start after Labor Day?
Can we have this put on the agenda for the beginning of?
Just saying, we start after my thought.
That's another item,
Paul?
guys.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Peg?
Aye.
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 Okay. We'll put that back on the agenda for, in August. It'll have to be before August. It'll have to be the end of,
Well, I'm thinking if we do it the first Wednesday that we meet in August,
Yeah.
should give us enough time.
okay, all right. Okay.
I would think that would help. Thank you.
Okay, all right, that's done. Okay, got some easy stuff now. School board calendar for 21-22. That should be page 16. All we have to do is need a motion and a second to approve. Does anybody?
Questions? Yes. Why are they starting
Wait.
before Labor Day?
Yeah, that we agreed last year.
Does anybody have an answer for that question?
I
The
thought we
adminis-
started after Labor Day
the-
too.
The administrative team and and Mrs. Doan and the group took a look at that, and we were looking for continuity with area schools. Am I correct?
Yes,
Team?
unless you were sure we did not start before Labor Day, we always have started the Wednesday, Thursday before. I know Paul hated it. And when we did, the state had us do the extra 3 professional development days, that pushed it back. If you guys want us to push it back, we can. That would push us into, would be June 21st before we got out.
Yeah. That's always so late.
Okay.
I just think a lot of families go away, and a lot of kids end up missing the first 2 days, so. I vote to go, put them to start after Labor Day.
Does that change this date?
It would make, we would probably have our teacher workshops then on the 1st and 2nd, and then the first student day would be the 7th.
This would have to go back to the teachers union to be approved.
So,
Well, they don't have to approve it, they give input.
Oh, I see.
We give input, we make the decision.
Okay, all right.
right.
This is that flow of the river. The other thing you might know, so typically Maine, New York, Massachusetts, they have February vacation aligned with President's Day. President's Day is the 21st this year. So some in New Hampshire were saying do February vacation starting February 28th, which really puts it in March. We look to align to Dover and Rochester because that's where our CTE programs go.
Right.
And they're all, the local superintendents are all doing it the week of the 21st. So that will put us at the same week as Massachusetts and Maine. But if we don't do that, our students will lose 2 weeks of CTE, basically at that time.
If we change the date?
So we chose to do it the same week Dover and Rochester.
Right.
So we want to change these dates, that will have no effect on that.
That won't, if we don't start till September 7th, that won't change that at all.
Right, doesn't affect the
The
winter
only thing that
vacation.
changes is the last day of June would be the 21st.
Okay, no, you make that,
Late. That's without snow days. And that's without snow days.
That is without snow. Good news is, we have long enough days that typically we don't have to make snow days up, but who knows what
Right.
kind of winter next winter will be.
Right.
but the thing with snow days now,
Although we can zoom
We
snow
can
days,
do
we
remote,
shouldn't have any
yeah,
more
we
snow
can do
days.
our days, as long as it's not so bad with the wind that everyone loses out.
Yeah, knocks out everything, yeah.
by then we hope, I hate to say this, but I don't, we're still waiting for the 410 Chromebooks. So that's nobody's fault, the manufacturer.
Anything, I don't want to change anything, but hopefully soon.
Now, do we want to change this date? Do I have a motion?
I have a motion that we start after Labor Day.
What day do you want to start?
Start after Labor Day when our teachers are. I'm thinking
Student.
first student day to be September 7th.
Yes, just seems so late to me. So late in June.
You'll have a second.
I will second with students for the first day on the 7th and teacher workshops on the 1st and the 2nd of September. And then stopping the 21st?
Stopping the 21st of June.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me what day the teacher workshops, if they want to do Monday, Tuesday, or if they want to do Wednesday, Thursday, I don't want to tie their hands on that, so whatever they prefer for those 2 days.
So I had a second. Are we clear on that, this motion?
You had Peg did it.
I'm sorry?
Peg seconded.
Have the teacher workshop days the first, second, and I guess somebody can come back to the questions. And the first student day on the 7th with the last student day on the 21st.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Melissa?
Right, I don't want to, I'd like the students to start the 7th and then give the administration the choice of whether they want it on that Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday for workshop, whatever is easier for them.
Can I ask a question?
Who's the voice?
Mary Ann Doan.
Go ahead, Mary Ann. I didn't know who you were. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Let me put on my camera. Okay. So I know it's always been discussed whether we start before or after Labor Day. And I don't know that there's a lot of people that are absent the 2 days before Labor Day. It's a good way, we feel as teachers, to get the out of the way, to get to know your kids the first couple days back. You get you start the routine, and then you start when you come back from Labor Day after getting those first few get acquainted days, then you start right in. Now we're putting off again a couple more days of getting acquainted into the week, and then you're into like the next week, and by mid-September, you're finally through all those get acquainted, the routine things. We really feel, I know, as teachers, that the first couple days, it's nice to do those days before, because it gives a natural break with the Labor Day weekend to start right in once after Labor Day, right into the routine of your schedule and stuff. So I would like if you could postpone and maybe wait for some input from all the teachers again to whether they would like to see that, because I really feel that that's something that I know when we started after Labor Day that I know at the elementary school especially too, and I believe the middle school when they're just getting used to the routines, that they're not a waste of time, the 2 days. They're really important for establishing routines, establishing the school year. So I would ask the board if, you could maybe wait and see what some input of the teachers might be in this, because I think it affects the teachers more then, I don't think the students necessarily, I mean, I know it's important, but also, and when you're postponing the end of the school year, there's a lot of people leaving on vacation before the end of the school year. They figure the snow days, oh, okay, we're just tacking on days, and they plan their vacation around the last day of school. But then if we have snow days or whatever, whatever comes next year, then the people take off the end of the year too. So I'm just asking the board to maybe take a minute to, rethink this motion.
So what's the board want to do?
I would concur with Mary Ann. We would lose more people probably on the 20th and 21st.
I'm sorry, but we had gotten information last year from parents that wanted it this way. This is why we voted last year, was to go back after Labor Day based on what the parents wanted. And so,
I
hey,
think
it's up to you, but
I think, unfortunately, from what I remember is I know, Paul Steer was, his son made a comment, and that could be reflected, if you look back in the minutes, that he thought it was a waste of time. And we don't think it's a waste of time. And as teachers.
But there were also comments that we received from parents that like that. That's what we had voted the way we did last year.
If I can jump in here, Marianne, I mean, as a teacher, we always started before Labor Day, and I do have to agree. There's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done, filling this in, making sure that's in, getting to know the kids. And, we never minded starting before Labor Day. And last year was the first year that we did start after Labor Day, after many years of going back and forth. So I have no problem waiting. I mean, it's not critical that this calendar is approved tonight, is it?
No.
We have had staff already asking, they're making summer plans when they'll be back, but we've been basically telling them, be prepared to be back at the end of August.
So what do we want to do? We want to proceed with the vote, or we want to send it back to the team?
I say we wait until Emily's back on the board so she can put in her comments.
We might need 5 people to vote. I think we might end up with a tie, to be honest. We might as well wait.
Okay, I have no problem with that. So then somebody needs to withdraw their second and then first.
Okay, I'll withdraw my second. You're the first.
You do the first.
All right, I'll withdraw it and then move it over to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll do that.
Thank you, Marianne.
It's tabled, I'll get it back on. Okay, page 17. That's the wrong page here, 17, and let's see what the rest of it is. No, that's the wrong page again. The 19 is training that's coming up. Okay, it's free for us, free. So, it's on Zoom. So I tried to sign up for one the other day and I was not able to get on, but, I wanted to do the policy one. I missed that one. So it's free. I'm just.
Free.
It's free. Okay. Now this thing, the next one I put on is page 20. Okay, I guess you could call this, what my wife usually has is a honey-do list. Okay, I think as a board, we have a honey-do list we need to get taken care of. Now, did any of you come up with any other items that you think we need to get taken care of other than the 3 that I put down?
Yes.
Those are very.
Speak, Peg.
Speak, Peg. Woof. Okay, what I would like to put on there is creating a salary schedule such as the same one that the town did. Theirs was approved by the taxpayers, and I think it might help with alleviating some of these, we want to hire some subs, but our pay is too low and nobody's coming in, blah, blah, blah. So that's one thing. And the second thing is, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but finishing up the scoreboard. The scoreboard actually needs to be installed. I did send a quick email out to Bob and he was extremely responsive. Everything is basically done. The posts have been painted, the concrete has been poured, but it needs to be installed. The thing is, like, 75 feet by 45 feet high. It's huge, it's gigantic. I offered to help, but I'm a little old and a little short, so we're gonna need some volunteers or something to help with that. But we are gonna be having a girls softball field this spring, so I think it's imperative that the scoreboard was donated. We need to get it up. And the last, what?
Wait a minute, Peggy, on that subject, I think we still have to put the wiring in, don't we? Is Bob still here?
Bob is still here. Bob?
Yep, yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
we still need
the,
to-
yeah, the 4x8 scoreboard needs to be mounted basically about 10 feet up in the air on the post. So hardware, drilling, all that kind of stuff's got to go on to do that. Plus, as Doug pointed out, then the electrical wire needs to be pulled. The conduit's in already, but the electrical wire needs to be attached as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, I don't know if I could do it or not, but I could pull the wiring through. That's about as far as I could do. But to me, it's the installation because that scoreboard is so big. And my last one is doing something with the Damon House. I don't know if we can look at something as far as from a grant, but it is an eyesore. So I'm just requesting that maybe we ask Bob to get some quotes, either removing the asbestos or the whatever that lead paint and repainting, or putting siding on it. But it does need to be fixed. We did a great job on the inside, but people see the outside. So those are my 3 additions.
Doug,
Go ahead.
don't you guys want to add something about for the custodians? You guys have been talking about it throughout this whole thing about comparing them to everybody else. Do you want to add something like that on there?
I think we've already done this.
Actually, I'd like to look at salaries in terms of custodians.
That's where I was.
Well, I think it's gonna be taken care of under the salary schedule. Let's look at everything.
They will just keep talking about it.
I think, it's, like you said, it's a honey to-do list to make sure that we, instead of getting put off, that we actually do sit down and discuss their salaries and do something about that. We did it a few years ago, but I think it's time that we revisit it with a realistic plan.
Okay, I just added that. Thank you, Melissa. I just added that because the actual salary schedule that I talked about would be for everybody, and it would be something that would go to the voters, sort of like the teacher's contract. So everybody, it would be a salary increase, steps and all of that, but that does need to be voted on by the town.
So what we'll have to do is form a committee, get a couple people on it to work on it. Pull all the pay schedules.
Right.
For everybody. So it should be taken care of that way.
Okay.
But, we could, we would definitely put a warrant article and put next year to implement that program if it passes. And then automatically goes into the default budget. And then that way they'll get it every year no matter what happens. Okay. Now, maybe Abigail don't know about this. That little schoolhouse is up on by Newt's Chapel.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Okay, all right. Then, we gotta add the maintenance vehicle to the CIP plan of the planning board. Then we have a bundle of, sealed minutes that we gotta open up, review, and unseal. Okay, we should do that periodically, and we put that off.
I'd like to make it known, we've been going back and forth on the scoreboard for the softball team for quite a while. And we're nearing the end, and I want to see us past that end because we have a new season coming up. We've just coming off of a year that has been horrendous.
let's have something to look forward to and push to get this done, finally.
I
Yeah,
agree.
but we're right at that tail end, and I want to push this forward as fast as we can, because it's been taking forever.
I agree. Does anybody add anything else to this list? Now, we can prioritize this list any way you want. It's up to the board. You want to work on pay salary schedule first? We'll work on it. That's not up to me.
Like, a lot of them can be done at the same time. I agree with Melissa, and that's why I reached out to Bob, because I keep putting the scoreboard update. So I think that is number one, because we're almost into softball season. But meanwhile, I would like to see getting quotes for the Damon House. And then, set up committees for the others. We can just bring sealed minutes, like maybe for a meeting, and look at them and see if they can be unsealed or need to be resealed. CIP, that new committee, Doug, was approved. Remember the one,
Yeah.
so that would be a good place to have one of us be on that. And you worked with Bruce before, so maybe that would be something you'd like to do. And then I don't know what we do with the schoolhouse.
Well, that's gonna have to be, I don't know, I think we ought to have a visit there before we ought to go inside.
Yeah, I agree. But then what?
I don't, the good thing is what, I don't know if you were told, Jen told us or not, but that $900,000 can be used on buildings. So that money could be used on the Damon House, from what I understand.
Good. So Bob, you can get some quotes.
High school could use it for?
Put roofs and all that stuff.
So anything that affects air quality, so they said we could use it for roofs, they're checking on that, we haven't approved yet. For windows and doors, like that, anything that would help with air filtration, HVAC, we can. put
Ventilation
HVAC
system.
in old news, and it would pay for that. So, this is the first time, they've allowed the money to be used for building. The Damon House itself, is there anything that you could use that building for? Is there anything that's been brewing in your mind that maybe this would be a great? It was previously used as a, like, alternative ed classrooms.
What?
It was previously used as some alternative education classrooms, but there's no room for that.
But we can't use the upstairs unless we put a fire escape up there. So, we still gotta find a place to put Bob's office. That's still in the works.
Yeah, thoughts on that?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Now,
Anybody else?
does lead paint do anything as far as you walk by it, or the lead seeps into the Damon House?
That's something we can ask, because lead paint would definitely affect, air quality.
Okay. Thank you, Jan.
We all set? Moving on. Number 6, old business, anything? Okay, I'm crossing it off. 7, committee board member reports, Peg?
No, the budget committee is going fine. One of the reasons I wanted to continue on it is that right now, the school district is in, I don't even know how to say this. Anyway, the chair likes us, and I want to keep it that way.
Anybody have any questions? Moving on. Okay, public comments, any?
Any comments?
Okay.
Chirp.
Sure. Okay. Okay, I need a motion to go into non-public.
Motion to go into non-public.
Second, Peg.
Okay, that'll be under RSA 91A, 32, A, B, C, D, E, I, K, and L. I think we got it right, finally. Okay, Peg?
Aye.
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 Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, you're too late. Ladies, Peg.
Second.
Peg? Nope.
Aye.
Peg? Aye.
What?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.